and it's easy to have distractions. There's times where I'm sitting there on my couch trying to have stillness and I see myself lift up my phone. Then I'm like, that's a distraction.
That's why we just got flip phones.
Yeah, we got flip phones recently because now when I take my dog
We
on
still
a
have
walk.
our iPhone, but we have flip phones too.
Yeah, when I take my dog on a walk, I'll bring my flip phone so I can take a small break from text messages, a small break from distracting myself. And that's my time to be able to like think and process.
We got this random message on our Facebook saying that Prince wanted to meet us. And we ignored it because we didn't think it was like Prince.
Right.
And we finally reached out to the contact and they're like, Prince wants to fly you guys out to New Orleans. We're like, Prince who? And so he originally asked us to dance on stage with him for Raspberry Beret. He wanted all the dancers to wear our glasses.
So we performed in front of like
crazy.
50,000 people at the Essence Festival with him.
And then from there, he wanted to meet our family. So we brought him to Paisley Park with our mom.
And then Breezy said, Prince, the glasses you have on are whack. You
Yes.
need some Coco and Breezy glasses. And I was like, Bree, you're crazy.
Yes.
And then he goes, Coco and Breezy, you guys are going to make me famous.
Yes.
I was like, Prince, you're going to make us famous. What are you talking about?
It's Powertools, and we got Coco and Breezy in the house. How are you guys doing?
What's up? Feeling good? Feeling grounded? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Not too many DJs say they're feeling grounded. I love that.
We did meditation before we got here.
That's awesome. That's such, you know what I really, really love is that is really like such a part of you guys, like being grounded, meditation, and the way you guys are like implementing that with the music as well. I mean, speak about that. I mean, I really love that.
Yes. So
Yeah, I think with our music, first of all, our lifestyle, when you're a DJ, it's like easy to run on autopilot.
Right.
And for us, when we got into touring, it was really important for us to find the balance of figuring out how do we get the right rest, how do we make sure that we stay grounded and don't overexhaust ourselves.
and also how can we be purpose driven? It could be so easy, especially with social media, to be in a rat race.
Yeah.
But for us, we really wanted to figure out like what is our purpose in this industry.
Yeah.
And when you say grounded, just break that down. What do you mean by grounded?
What I mean by grounded is, one, none of us are perfect. Like last week I had some time where I felt fear and I felt myself not get grounded, but then I had tools. I gave myself tools to re-ground myself, which was I meditated. I reminded myself why I needed stillness, because sometimes when you're moving around so much, when you have stillness, it can feel a little bit scary. But I realized I need to be still because I needed to like listen to my emotions. But sometimes when we're touring so much and like on all these planes, playing all these shows, it's difficult to like sit in stillness and be like, do I feel sad right now? Do I feel like fear? Do I feel anything? And so we've had some stillness the last few weeks, still working on music, but we were just home more than like usual. And it felt weird, but I was like, hold on, I needed this. Like I really, really needed it.
You know what? You just like sometimes we don't allow ourselves to feel.
Right.
You just go grind,
Yeah.
next session,
Yes.
music, video shoot, you know. And so sometimes what you're saying is sometimes you just got to stop
Yep.
and identify what you're feeling.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that, and it's easy to have distractions. There's times where I'm sitting there on my couch trying to have stillness and I see myself lift up my phone. Then I'm like, that's a distraction.
That's why we just got flip phones.
Yeah, we got flip phones recently because now when I take my dog
We
on
still
a
have
walk.
our iPhone, but we have flip phones too.
Yeah, when I take my dog on a walk, I'll bring my flip phone so I can take a small break from text messages, a small break from distracting myself. And that's my time to be able to like think and process.
That is deep. Flip phones might be making a comeback.
I
Yeah, I think they are.
I think they are.
That's amazing. I mean, well, you guys are doing like some incredible stuff. I mean, you've had releases on Helix, Nor Fever, Mood Swing. Your latest single on Insomniac, Lie to You. Now, that is a total vibe. We're renting that tune here. You've remixed Jamie Jones, Zerb, Janelle Monáe. You're also co-founders of your fashion eyewear, which is also called Coco and Breezy,
Yep.
which I love, which I'm sure you're rocking
Yes,
right
we
now,
are.
which is amazing. You're also twins,
Yes,
which I
we
just
are.
found out yesterday. And I thought
love
that was incredible. But let's go back to the beginning of Coco and Breezy, and I want to understand, like, where did you guys find your passion for dance music specifically? Like, was there a moment for you guys, like you heard a song, or did you see a DJ? What was that moment where you guys go, I connect with this music?
I think the moment was, so our dad, he came from the South, and we grew up listening, he was always listening to blues and like jazz, and our mom is Puerto Rican.
Right.
So we grew up with her playing the percussions, and everyone on my mom's side of the family played the percussions.
Wow.
And we were also those girls that would be in like the grocery store, and if we hear any type of a beat, we were dancing. Like we were always dancing anywhere and everywhere.
Right.
And so,
and our mom, we heard beats in our head. My mom would be like, "There's no music playing. Why are you guys dancing?"
yeah.
You guys are hearing the same beat at the same time?
Yes.
Wow.
And it really started from being dancers. Like we would perform at all the talent shows and around Minnesota, and that's where our love for music came from. And then we would do dance battles. And being in the Midwest, there was like Chicago juke music,
Yeah. Oh,
and
juke.
and house music mixed
Right.
together. And our dance battles will have that sort of music, and so that's where our love for dance music really started.
Oh, that's not too many people mention juke music. Like
I used the footwork. I can still
Coco
footwork.
could still footwork.
Okay, that's deep right there. That's
Yeah.
deep. And then once you started getting a little more into it, like, you know, maybe in your teenage years, or, you know, what DJs were you listening to once you like, I really love this? Who were you gravitating to back then?
I mean, the first song I think that really, I think my first dance music song, I have to say Percolator. Because that song was just such a song for even people who didn't listen to house music.
Right.
It was like a backyard, like,
Barbecue.
Like, that song
Yeah.
crossed everybody.
Like if we had a barbecue, that song was playing. We were going to the
Right.
skating rink, that song was on.
playing.
If we were doing a dance battle, that song was on.
Right.
I don't even think at that time when I was younger that I considered it house music. I just considered it as an anthem song.
It was just
Interesting.
so a part of our culture, the Percolator.
That's amazing. Shout out Cashmere,
Yes.
aka Green Velvet. So eventually you guys started producing music and DJing. Talk to us about how you got into like production. Was this still while you were in Minnesota, or is this started to happen once you guys moved to New York?
Yeah, well, we first started as DJs. So we started DJing I would say we started DJing almost 11 years ago.
Okay.
And we had a lot of mentors that were like very technical DJs that were teaching us.
Right.
And from there, like for a long time, I would play with producing. Like I'd hang out at my friends' houses that had studios, and I'd be like, Can I just play in your studio and like try to make something? I didn't really understand the sound yet.
Right.
But I just knew that like I wanted to make something, and so did Breezy. And so DJing came first and playing around with production. And then once we finally found our sound, which is something that's always evolving, actually.
Right.
We released our first song in 2020.
Right.
And it was like when we were trying to figure out our sound, we were like, what can we do to go into like dance music but still keep our roots? And how do we bring the Coco and Breezy sound in a sound that's like so versatile? Because there's so many different sounds in dance music, right?
Right.
There's like I would say our music is influenced. It's house music. It has Afro and Latin influences. Sometimes the vocals are inspired by R&B, and that's like it's telling the story of who we are.
Right. I mean, I described when I first heard it, I'm like, this is like R&B house, but like, because that's my first term, like, but done right.
Yeah.
In my
you.
opinion, like where other house DJs go, I with this, like,
Thank
and I
you.
think that's really, really cool.
You know what's interesting, actually? I kind of want to break that stereotype, because when you really think about house music before it got gentrified, it was always the soulful vocals. And I
Yeah.
think that now that house music has expanded, people call it R&B house.
Right.
And really, when you think about like Show Me Love,
Right.
and you think about all these like Brighter Days, like
Right.
that was like soulful, groovy, like it's always been that from the beginning.
100. No, you're absolutely
know?
you're absolutely right. It's always been that. You know, I the only reason why I was saying more R&B, I guess some of the chords,
Yeah.
like back then, there wasn't. I guess it was based around chords, early house. If you go back to early New York house,
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, Show Me Love. I think the original BPM was like 118, right? And she was like an R&B singer at the beginning. You know?
But that was real house music.
Yeah,
That was even
no.
before R&B house was
right.
trying to like separate the sound.
100%. I agree with you 100%. So taking another step back, I mean, what I think is really cool is that you guys are also, you have your fashion eyewear, which I think is really, really cool. And like it's been worn by Rihanna, Beyonce, Lady Gaga, even Prince. I mean, that's an amazing list. But talk to me about the first time you guys met Prince. Like, what was going through your head? Because you had that moment had to be like,
oh my gosh,
God damn.
No, that moment was crazy. We were young. We were like 22 years old.
Yes, we were 22 years old, and it's a long story, but I'll make it short. We got this random message on our Facebook saying that Prince wanted to meet us, and we ignored it because we didn't think it was like Prince.
Right.
And we finally reached out to the contact, and they're like, Prince wants to fly you guys out to New Orleans. We're like, Prince who? And so he originally asked us to dance on stage with him for Raspberry Beret. He wanted all the dancers to wear our glasses.
So we performed in front of like
crazy.
50,000 people at the Essence Festival with him.
And then from there, he wanted to meet our family, so we brought him to Paisley Park with our mom.
And then Breezy said, Prince, the glasses you have on are whack.
Yes.
You need some Coco and Breezy glasses. And I was like, Bree, you're crazy.
Yes.
And then he goes, Coco and Breezy, you guys are going to make me famous.
Yes.
I was like, Prince, you're going to make us famous. What are you talking about? And it's so wild because fast forward, we hung out with him at Paisley Park.
He also brought us into the studio before we started like really taking our production seriously. He brought us in the studio and he was like, what do you guys think about my album? And he really wanted our feedback.
Yeah. And then we made the Third Eye glasses. He wore them on Saturday Night Live.
Right.
And I remember
you guys made those glasses?
Yes, we made those
crazy.
glasses. And it was so wild because I would never forget this time. When we were making those glasses, we were talking to his lawyers about doing an official collaboration. And then he goes, I don't want you to talk to my lawyers. I want you guys to keep all of it. He said, I don't need a piece. You guys just buy a house and save me a room.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy part is that when we released the 200 frames, we released them like just a couple days before he passed away.
Wow.
And we didn't do any marketing. He tweeted the link to our website, and we just let that be the marketing. And, of course, they sold out. Right. And every news outlet and press outlet was reaching out to us for interviews, and we declined them because we were like, he was our friend. We don't believe in, like, trying to profit off of someone's death.
Right.
And at that time, we were like, oh, my gosh, Good Morning America, Vogue, all these people. And then we tried to hit them up, like, 6 months later, and, obviously they're like, whatever. But I just knew that he was our friend, so it felt kind of weird to try to take advantage of that.
And I think it is important that I think a lot of people in the electronic space, when you go to festivals, you see a lot of the knockoffs of the Third Eye glasses, and a lot of people don't know we're the ones who actually created them, the originals.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what inspired those?
Prince. Prince said, I need glasses to cover my third eye. We said, we got you, Prince.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
He was a man with like a little bit of words, but anything he said was so powerful
and mystical.
Right.
Very like we spent in New York. He would send us cards at like 3:00 in the morning. We'll go to dinner. Like every concert he had, and we were so spoiled that if I saw on the news that he was in New York and I didn't get a text message,
like he didn't tell us he was in New York. They're like, we're sending you a car.
It would be at all the shows in New York.
That's amazing. That's incredible. I mean, that's an incredible story. I mean,
thank you.
What else I love about you guys is like when you guys are DJing and producing, and I listen to your music, I can tell you guys are connecting on a different frequency.
Thank you.
And that to me
you.
is amazing because there's very few people in this industry that I can say they're connecting on a different frequency. What is it about house music that you connect with?
I think it's high vibrational. And something we do before every single set is that we literally say a prayer to our ancestors, and we ask them to allow us to be a vessel for us to attract the people that need the healing. And so a lot of the times when we're performing, I don't even know what song I'm going to play. It's more about like, okay, guide me to play whatever the people need. And there's so many times I'll see videos of myself, and I'm like, I don't even remember doing that. Because at that time, I feel like we're just being vessels. Right. And we're just giving the crowd exactly what they need. It's not about us. And Coco and I, when we're up there, we're just like vibing. Right. Like sometimes I'm crying and people can't see it because I feel the music in such a different way. Mm-hmm. And every song that we choose, we're so intentional with like the words, the lyrics, Like, we want people to feel good. And that's how house music started.
Right.
So we're just trying to bring that back.
100%. Now, where did this all start? It had to start from one of your parents, an aunt, somebody.
Where did it start? You know what? It really started, I mean, our mom and dad told us when we were 2, we always told them we knew that we were different. And kind of growing up, we grew up with, like, I wouldn't say it was poverty, but we thought we grew
Definitely
up middle
low
class,
income.
and it was, and I found out it was actually low income. It was not middle class, but mom and dad did a great
We
job.
definitely had the reduced lunches at
we
school.
had the free lunch at school, and
I was there.
And I think it was really us being like, we need to get out of our situation and change the generational like future, and. There was one lady who really got us into this, and her name was Nadi. When we moved to New York in 2009, she was a yoga instructor. And I remember her seeing us and being like, hey, I'm a yoga instructor. I would love to invite you to a class. And we were like, huh? Yoga? And we went to her class, and she changed our lives. She ended up being like, I'll come to your house and give you free sessions.
Mm-hmm. She introduced us to meditation and all those things.
Clean eating. We changed our eating habits. She introduced us to like acupressure. So
and
I think that Nadi.
She saw our light before we saw our own light. And she just kind of like opened that door for us. And I think about it, I'm like, we were just like,
and we were rock stars. I'm talking about we had black lipstick, platforms. We looked like gothic girls. But she saw our light still.
Yeah.
And because we did have it. That was just the way we expressed ourselves.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope. That's really, really, that's dope when somebody can come into your life and really change, your outlook on something. One person. That's really dope. Let's talk about the new single. I love this song, Lie to You. I mean, it's such a vibe. Your fusion of R&B, like you talked about, and house music and Afro beats. I mean, talk to us about the inspiration of that song.
Yeah, that song is like one of my favorite songs. The vocal it's a vocalist named Amira. Her voice is so beautiful and it's pitched down.
Right. And
I feel like it definitely has like an R&B influence, but it's also, it also bangs.
Oh yeah. 100%.
So I think it's a little bit more of like it's a club banger that still feels good.
Right.
And
it also feels like an anthem.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a jam. I can never stop dancing to it.
Like
it's interesting because I play my songs on repeat.
At home. We listen to our own music.
And I feel like, if I ever get to the point where I don't want to play my own music on repeat, that's an issue.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
but I've had that
100%.
song on repeat for the last like couple of months before we release it. 'Cause it's just like a feel good type of a song.
Like, it's a feel good at home, but also like whenever we play it in the club, people, they're like energy shifts.
Right.
Because it's so energetic as well.
That's sick. That tune is really, really dope, and I think it's really, really special.
Thank you.
Let's talk about your tour, the Free Your Soul tour. I love that you guys are having it's a 2-part experience with wellness and then the dance floor vibes. Talk to us about why this is important to include in a tour.
Yes.
Because not very many people put them together.
Yeah. So for us, it was important because we were trying to figure out ways to connect with the people that support us. And I feel like with everything going on with the world, it's community.
Right.
Like, we need community. And so for us, we thought about this idea in our movement of Free Your Soul for a very long time. And we're like, hold on. We should do a 2-part tour where we do an earlier experience where Coco and I are going to be guiding breathwork and meditation.
And playing some sound instruments.
And then we're also going to be playing our EP from top to bottom because our free EP, you can either sit in stillness and meditate with it, or you can dance and free dance.
Right.
And I'm just so excited.
And then we'll also do a meet and greet, which that idea came from, I feel like when you go to pop concerts or rap concerts or shows, you can always buy a meet and greet ticket.
Right.
But when you go to house music shows, there's not that meet and greet before or after.
Right.
But after every show, Breezy and I always stay, and we go to the crowd when they turn the lights on, and we take pictures with everybody.
That's
and we meet
dope.
everyone.
And we do a meet and greet. And sometimes we go past the curfew, but the promoter's always do your thing. And that's where the idea came from. I was like, oh shoot, we should try to do an experience early on because people always have so many questions for us.
Right.
So we want to be able to give genuine, present conversation.
Right.
So it's going to end with a meet and greet. as well.
Are you guys playing? I think it's what is it called, the sound bath? Is that?
Yeah, we have a singing bowl, and then we
Nice.
also have this like it's like this like what is it has
It's like a
it sounds like a rain
drum
drum
type
thing.
of vibe.
Right.
And then also it's like this like shell. I forgot what it's called, but it's a shell. But when you close your eyes, it sounds like the ocean. But all these sounds are in our songs as well.
Right.
Some of them you can't fully hear them. They're like they're very distinct, but you can like feel it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what we always say. We make music that you can feel.
Right. I guess that's very important because that's like when you're growing up, you know, if you're saying, you know, being, I guess you guys were feeling music at such an early age where you guys were hearing the beats in your head.
Yeah.
I think that's like right now, as you're able to release music, you want to give out that same feeling of when you guys felt as a kid.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's amazing. Now,
Thank you.
DJing, and I asked this to, you know, when there's two people in a group, you guys are twins. How do you guys sort out your DJ set? Who's playing what? Or it's just all vibes?
It's all vibes.
It's
but
intuition.
It's intuition and vibes, but we have like one rule to keep us like good. Is like we both choose songs, but Breezy has the first say. So sometimes I'll be putting
I
a
have the
song
last
in,
say.
or she has the last say.
The first and last say.
Yeah, I'll be putting a song in, and Breezy's like, she'll grab my hand, and be like, no, this one. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever.
Right.
But I always have an extra CDJ or two that has the tools.
Right.
So like, even though we both take turns doing the tools and the tricks and like the songs, I'm the one that has the last say on like what tools and acapellas we're gonna play, and she has the last say on the songs.
Right.
But then sometimes there's times where she's playing like 2 songs, I'm playing a tool, and we're both trusting that whenever that drops out and I bring this in, that's gonna work.
And it always works.
Yeah.
And that's a twin tuition.
Yeah, we always
That's
trust.
nice to have.
And sometimes I get nervous. I'll like move her hand, and she's like, "Trust me."
That's amazing. One of my favorite songs that you guys put out is "Off My Mind," which I think is a beautiful tribute to your father.
Yes.
You know, how has your father played a part in this journey?
Oh my God. Our dad, I'm going to cry thinking about it.
Yeah, because he passed away in 2021, and he was our best friend.
Oh, okay.
And he just always just let us be us.
Right.
Like, even though he grew up in the South during segregation. So he wasn't allowed to eat in certain restaurants. He had to eat outside and all that stuff. But one thing he always taught us was like, at school, he was like, Coco and Breezy, just be you.
Be free.
Be free. You know? And so I think the fact that he and our mother always embraced us being ourselves, although, you know, sometimes you walk into a space and being entrepreneurs, when we first started our eyewear company, we'd go to these meetings and people would have their blue suits on and brown shoes, and we'd walk in looking like this. And I remember people just being like, we would be like, should we wear suits? And they'd be like, I'm meeting you for who you are.
Right.
You know, and so our parents definitely inspired that. And I think that with our music or our self-expression, we just want to continue to let people know that be you.
And also, I can say that our dad, like, he was a huge inspiration on us because he just kept it G with us. Our dad was a gangster back in the day, and he like, once he had daughters, it changed his life.
Right.
And he just kept it so real. And I think I feel so grateful to have, like, the father-daughter relationship that we did have, because, like, he told everyone that we were his best friends. We were his best friends, and he just kept it so real.
One thing he taught us and told us before he passed away was, he was like, I practiced negotiating with you. So when we were younger, we got our nose pierced when we were 13. And whenever we wanted to do something, he never said no. He said, let me know, like, you can negotiate with me. So we negotiate and be like, well, Dad, it's our self-expression. We want to do this. And, like, we wanted to go to New York at 17. And he didn't say no right away. He let us negotiate. And then later on, he said,
Like, right before he passed away.
before he passed, he said, I did that to teach you guys how to negotiate so you can get anything you want when you get older.
And not take no for an answer.
And that really helped out, I'm sure, you know, being entrepreneurs, going to New York,
Yes.
trying to start, you know, a fashion eyewear line.
Yeah.
So that had to really help you out.
Yeah. And also,
100%.
too, I think even entering into the electronic music space and being different.
Right.
You know, I think we had to be confident in what we were doing because we didn't necessarily we couldn't find a lane that fit what we're doing. We just had to create the lane and be confident in that space.
Right.
And have the people just find us.
That's dope. I read somewhere or I don't know which one of you said this, but being barefoot on earth is very powerful.
Yep.
And that really hit me because I'm like, I don't walk outside barefoot. What the hell is she talking about? But then I started thinking about it. Speak on that a little bit.
Yes. So sometimes we go hiking barefoot. We like ground like on the grass barefoot. Like I feel like a lot of times when we're wearing shoes, that kind of blocks the energy you get from the earth. And like the earth has so much energy, and just simply like if you have anxiety, simply just going outside, even if you don't want to walk around, but putting your feet in the grass can just ground you.
Right.
There's something energetic about it that like it literally just makes you feel so calm. And even laying in the grass, like we're those girls that I'm a tree hugger. Okay, like I'm definitely a tree hugger. Like lay in the grass, the simple life of just nature. I feel like nature is real wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's like where the real wealth
Like
is.
if you have any anxiety or anything going on, like literally just go outside and sit in nature, or like look if you're by the ocean, sit next to the ocean.
Right.
And I think the big thing is in those moments when you're in nature, it causes you to stop looking outside of yourself because we have the answers within, and that's something that nature has taught me.
That's dope. All right. So what does 2026, the rest of the year, does Coco and Breezy have cooking up? Got some more singles, some collabs. We know we're doing the tour. We're in the tour. Talk to us about the rest of the year.
Yeah, so we're working on a lot more music. We're going to be releasing way more often this year than we did last year. And our Free Your Soul tour, we're still continuing that for the rest of the year as well. Playing a bunch of festivals. What else are we doing?
I think we're sitting on so much music right now that I'm really excited.
Yeah, and we're always expanding our sound. Right. And so we have some new music that is a little bit even more like classic house club driven, but still the Coco and Breezy sound. So I'm really excited to introduce that side of Coco and Breezy this year.
That's dope. That's really, really dope. And any other drops on the eyewear?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we are. And we actually just announced today that we did a licensing deal with Europa, who's like one of the biggest independent eyewear like companies.
Nice.
So we're really excited. We're gonna expand and I think right now we're in like 600 stores. So in the next year we'll probably be in about 1,200.
That is crazy. I love to see what you guys are doing from like on all sides. I think it's really amazing, from the fashion eyewear to the music, but you guys are still staying grounded, and that's really, really sick.
Thank you.
Thank you
That's
so
really
much.
dope.
Thank you.
It's really dope having you guys on Powertools, and we're looking forward. As soon as those records drop, send it to us.
Oh, I got you.
Got you. And it's an honor for us to be here. We've been wanting to do this for a while, so we appreciate you having us here.
The right timing.
Exactly.
There you go.